Students who've had sex with their teachers, at what point did your relationship turn physical? How do you feel about it now?
After I graduated HS, I saw my history teacher at a bar, and he bought me a drink, took me back to his place, and we fucked. I snuck out the next morning and I haven't heard from him since.
How was it?
Fantastic.
After graduation, I hooked up with my old history teacher a few times. I frequently would watch his daughter when he had to work late. I was invited to go camping with the two of them. Let's have a drink to celebrate the beginning of summer changed quickly. I ended it very abruptly when his daughter started calling me mom.
I ended it very abruptly when his daughter started calling me mom. That's usually a good tip-off to GTFO.
When I was 17, I got the chance to go to school in the States, born in Greenland, and so I had a senior year here. The English teacher had just gotten the job there according to the other kids my age. But what happened was I needed help just speaking and learning English better, so she said she'd help me out. I'd come in after school, and we'd do the flashcard BS, and eventually she started asking me what I thought about American girls, and if I prefer blondes, brunettes and etc. Questions slowly got more personal until she gave me her phone number, told me to call her at 8 and she'll have plans. I was confused as hell, but when I got to her house my other head took over the thinking. P.S. If I messed up any grammar, please excuse it. I didn't pay a lot of attention during the lessons. Edit, a word.
Was she using flashcards to teach you English terms like my other head? I had sex with a high school guidance counselor, but I don't know if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Well, I was 17 at the time, not sure how old she was, but I would guess early 30s. I always found her attractive, but I didn't really think much of it since I never expected anything to happen. I would assume most people wouldn't think anything is going to happen. Students were assigned a guidance counselor for academic questions, and the psychological counselor was in another spot in the school. She was the academic counselor, so occasionally I would go down there and ask whatever it was I needed to know. I'm not very organized, so I'm sure I went down there a few times a year. After a while I would visit just to say hello because she was friendly and I was a 17-year-old who got the attention of an attractive woman, so come on, give me a break here. Anyway, I go down there one afternoon and say hello and chat a little, and after a while she asked me how my dating life is going. Well, to be honest, not very well. I'm a quiet guy, not shy but quiet, and I'm just not confident enough as a person yet to really get myself out there. So we talk a little more about dating and why I don't do it, and I go off to class. This goes on for a while, talking to each other about mildly personal things, until one afternoon I go to visit and she asked me what I would assume is the question that changed things. How come you have so much time to visit me? I would stay at least a half hour each time. I don't know why she didn't ask this earlier, but I didn't want to say anything because she was kind of the only friend I had. I don't think she saw it that way, but I did. And I simply said, I like visiting you, so I make time. We sat and talked for over an hour that afternoon. A few weeks go by and I'm walking home as a car pulls up nearby and she gives a little honk and waves. But not the kind of wave like the wave you'd give to a friend or a coworker or whatever. It was a flirty wave, but of course at the time I didn't consider it flirty because that was fucking insane to me. Several more weeks pass and I spot her car, waiting for me now across the street. I wave and start walking, but she leans her head out the window and asks if I need a lift. I say sure, why not? We begin to drive and she says I just need to drop some things off at my apartment. Is that okay? My 17-year-old penis is having a fit, but my brain is saying don't be ridiculous. That is a fantasy, and you know reality is different. She's just giving you a lift, so shut the fuck up. I was wrong. We get to her apartment and she says I can wait on the couch. She comes back from some room, sits down, and she starts telling me about how she hasn't been with anyone for over a year and it's affecting her job because she can't concentrate. I say nothing, frozen in hormonal fear. She looks at me in a way I've never seen her do, puts her hand on my leg and says, you know, out of all the students I talk to, I'm the most comfortable with you. She puts her hand on the back of my head, while this entire time I'm frozen. I don't know what to do, what to say, nothing. She tells me to relax, grabs my hand, leads me to her bedroom, and well, the rest is history.
How long did it go on for after? Did it eventually fizzle away?
It went on for a year and a half. After I graduated we still met at the school, but she was starting to want to look to get married and start a family, and obviously I couldn't do that. She didn't want to cheat on anyone, so she told me it was the best year of her life, but it was time to call it off.